What are you guys working on over here?
We're gonna build a set of ladder bars. So the way to do it is we're gonna use this as a template. We're gonna weld these nuts to the table, and then this way we've got the exact dimensions of where they need to be, where the heim joint ends need to be, because everything else in the middle can kind of go left or right. Doesn't have to be exactly bar length, whatever. But as long as the 3 mounting points are right, it should all fall into place.
So this is for his car. That's like exact. It's already been. This came off of his car.
Yeah.
Off the Camaro, right?
Yeah.
Off the Camaro. So we're gonna add a little bit of strength to these dudes. These are just like these are a factory deal, and back then, like I don't know, these are probably from like the '90s or something like that.
Yeah, they
Probably.
worked.
They worked. They do work. But we're gonna make them a little bit stronger this time around. We'll probably go 1.25 or either 1.25 chromoly or 1.5, depending on what the rod ends and stuff like we can get. It's Friday night, and I have some leftover rod ends and heim joints and tube ends and stuff like that. But right here, this is like old school stuff. They like this is threaded tube in here.
Yeah, the
so
tube
they're like
itself.
they actually like thread the tube itself. So we're gonna actually put in a bung in here, so it'll be butt welded. Then we'll have a couple rosette welds, like plug welds in here. So once we get these all positioned, we know that this is whatever distance this needs to be and that distance needs to be, and we're gonna make them both the same. Then he'll be able to adjust it from there.
Yeah.
So these already have. We might actually move this one a little bit because of the little amount of adjustment here on the heim joint, but we'll possibly leave it here and we'll just change the lengths of the tubing itself so that we could have both like the 1/2 inch of adjustment here, 1/2 inch of adjustment here, and see how this one only has like
Yeah, it's
I don't know,
minimal.
like it's got no adjustment right here. That's probably because the way they did this setup here, and these rod ends here, these aren't even like these are solid rod ends. They don't even have like a Teflon line
Oh
deal.
yeah.
So they're like they're
They just go right in and
Yeah,
they
they-
only move straight up and down.
there's no misalignment in them. There's no Teflon lining in them, and that means when this is operating, it's actually riding on like the shoulder of the bolt. If you get what I'm saying, not like it's there's no forgiveness in there like the normal heim
Like
joint
what
is.
this is.
Yeah. Well, this is like a misalignment deal.
Oh.
See how it's got the bushings in there. They
Yeah.
might have put a spacer in there, or they might not have. Sometimes this looks like it's a 3-piece deal. It looks like there's just spacers in there, but they do make misalignment ones that have extra like 1/4 inch material on the ball, so that you could have more adjustability in it. Like that's the type of heim joint that you'd probably use for, like a wishbone or something like that. That has a lot of pinion angle adjustment because the ball can stay more spherical. You know what I'm saying? The ball can be more round.
Yeah.
And then they had the misalignment joint in there, so that it's all one unit still. Mm-hmm. So that like when you get past like a normal heim joint, right? If you get past past this point here, the ball is no longer like
Yeah.
you lost all this half moon here and this half moon here. So like you don't have that much, right? So
Yeah.
wishbone setup, it'd be something like this similar, right? And it moves up and down. Mm-hmm. But ideally, you want to have your heim joint horizontal like this, just like we did in the last videos. So the joint is still on this part here. I'll flip this because we'll make it. We'll do this again. But if the wishbone is on a vertical mount like here, you could have infinite amounts of travel, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're working the side load on here, and this is a prime example. Look at this. Like,
got-
see how it's worn out? The
Yeah.
Teflon's worn out.
Yep.
And this is nothing from like neglect or anything like that. It's just a wear item. That's why they make heim joints, and that's why they make tube ends and not threaded rod like anymore, right? So this is just like a wear item. But if this was your centering device, that amount of movement right there could cause you problems.
Yeah.
So once it gets all tightened up, it'll be beneficial. So we'll probably set this here because the pinion angle's already been set on the car, and then we'll probably go and set it up. Just maybe make this bar a little bit shorter so we have a little more thread visible there. And we might even
There's no wishbone or anything in the car, so what'll
Yeah.
probably happen is I'll make 2 of these, then take it home, put it on the car, then measure out some kind of center length,
Yeah.
something in the middle.
yeah we could do we could probably go make something like this.
Because we know that.
We
length.
know the center to center length, and we could just give it an approximate measurement, And this is just like a sleeve deal that they did. So this is probably just like a universal kit. So that you'd buy this ladder bar, and then you'd buy this here, and this was probably done at home. So they probably, you know, you'd cut this down to the size, and you slide this to the right distance that you needed, and this to the right distance you needed, and then you just weld the sucker in.
Gotcha.
Because some ladder bars are generally wider than a four-link car. Ladder bars are generally like 20 plus inches wide. Well, on a four-link car, you'll have those down to like 16 inches on center. So, depending on if this was like 22 inches on center or 18 inches on center, this rod would have to be a different length. So,
Yeah.
this was probably just like a kit that they sold, and you
Yeah.
just set your distance there. And a lot of them even go, they run a joint from here, from like a welded joint here, and then they actually do like a piece of, like a joint right here that actually bolts in here, and it would encompass your clevis,
Okay.
or like your rod end.
Okay.
So you actually tie it into like the front pickup point there. But I don't know. You could go either way. You can go right to the bar itself, or some joints go right to the center. Or like how I did it, we tied our lower bars just like a triangle or a brace 4-link bracket where we tie the lower bars in together. But depending on, like on a car like this, you'd probably get in the way of drive shaft, so you couldn't really
Go that route.
go that route.
And this lower bar is the front mount on this lower bar is the lowest point of the car.
Mhm.
So if you go anything underneath that,
Yeah.
that's just going to cause issue too.
It's because of you. So. Yep.
I don't know if they're ready for this.
The world.
I'll tell you one thing, I'm way past ready for it.
Wowsy.
But
You don't have to be tall to see how short this thing is. What do you think, Rex? You excited for the new car to be done? Hey guys, welcome back to the Hustlin Horsepower YouTube channel. Today's video is kind of taking it a few steps back. We showed you Nick and I working on the brake assembly and brackets for the brake assembly in the last video, but today we're going to be rolling the car in the shop, taking the body off of it, doing some more of the brake assembly work, and then a bunch of other miscellaneous things. Nick and I are, well, and a bunch of other people actually. We've got the guys at Flying Hammer that are helping us out. Sammy, Boost is my friend, and his family have been coming and lending us a hand. A bunch of people helping us to get this car ready for Dig or Die, which is July 22nd and 23rd at Rockingham Dragway. It's a 2-day event. There's over 100 cars there, so it'll be a pretty cool first event for us to take the car to.
so guys, here we are with a whole bunch of people. We got Matt from DNR Auto. We got the Boost, my friend, whole family over there.
Baby Boost. My oldest son, y'all ain't met yet. James, they always said James is my son. It's my oldest son, James, over here. Got the whole family up in here.
Well, we are 13 days away from racing, and we got a lot of work to do in 13 days. But it's looking pretty sinister. Like, we don't have the front end on it right now, and like we don't have the doors on it. I already took those off, but we're getting ready to pop the cab off, and I'm gonna spend the night, most of the night welding, and got quite a few more gussets and stuff like that to make. But we rolled it in here, and it's ready to get welded up.
So we're taking the cab off?
Yeah.
Take it out.
Where do
Wanna
you?
it right now?
Yeah, pull
I'll
the
just-
yeah, pull
we
the
got
shaft loose.
16 people
Nope.
here. Why are we gonna wait till they all leave? That's why I'll do.
You want, hey, walk through.
No, it's
I'll
all
let you take to the car.
Forward.
Damn. You gonna allow them to have this in the video?
What?
Your Cheeto Pro mod over here? Your cheating Pro mod?
You want steel roof and quarters? We'll have steel roof and quarters. You want stock front suspension? We got stock front suspension.
You got it all.
You got it all.
So Nick has me working on this bar, and in just a few minutes you'll see he has me switching things up to work on a bar for the master cylinder bracket to be mounted to.
Right now I'm finishing up the brake pedal assembly. I'm making up the mounts for the brake pedal itself that I built. Does that make sense? So we built the brake pedal. Maddy's making the mount to mount the master cylinder off of. She already made that mount, but then she's making the bar that mount is going to attach to, and I'm working on making the mounts that are going to hold the bearings that hold the pedal assembly. So just 2-inch square stock here, and we're going through and doing the deal up. So I know I did the center at 1.5 inches, so it gives me a 1/2 inch there, about 1/2 3/4 of an inch, to measure my taper for the because the frame rails aren't perfectly parallel in these cars, because the bodies aren't parallel. So yeah, we're just working our way through it. So I'm gonna go through. I marked this to 1.5 inches. Mark this side to 1.5 inches. We're gonna do that side, and when I come back in here, I'll get you guys on the tripod. Look what we got! Should I go turn off the air compressor before we finish up this video?
Probably, but I was hoping it would stop.
Stop! You listen.
So, we have done a lot of miscellaneous things today.
Still didn't get enough time done in the day. So, I kind of feel like we're like those, like, a little 4-year-old kid with 6-inch long legs, walking through 2 feet of snow, carrying like a 40-pound sled up the hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's way too much work. But eventually,
We'll get to the top of the hill.
and then what do we get to do?
Sled down the hill. Have our enjoyment.
Have our enjoyment. So, yeah.
So that's the brake assembly. You got those pieces of tubing, the brackets put onto them.
All indexed, everything fits, blah, blah, blah,
Yep.
blah. Of course, nothing's straight because the tubes aren't straight, and these are off like 7 degrees, 10 degrees, whatever these are. These are off like 30 degrees.
But once it's in the car, the brake pedal is going to be...
Actually, I lied. We're not finished. I gotta weld my pedal on.
I forgot to put blue tape on that. That's my fault.
That's your fault, all right. But here's the pedal assembly.
You're
Just
supposed to agree with me.
Oh, I agree. I guess I can show them real quick. So this sucker fits in here. Just zoom in. And this sucker is going to sit in like here. And depending on exactly where I want the pedal, we'll just change what spacer that we put in here. So if we put a spacer that size in there, we can put the pedal here. But I made it down to the smallest point of right here. And then this master cylinder needs about 1 inch of travel. So from here to here is a little over 1 inch of travel.
So that 1 inch gives it full engagement?
Full engagement.
Gotcha.
So Maddy made up these pieces here.
Oh yeah, this is also for the brake.
Maddy made up these pieces, so this is going to get welded in there like that. Then Maddy's getting ready to go to bed because it is 2 o'clock in the morning.
Almost.
Basically 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get this welded onto here and get the master cylinder up in the car. And then I got to go and I build a setup like here. You know what it is?
I don't know what you're looking for.
I might do something like this. So I do a 1 inch piece of.
Say I can't get down there and Oh yeah, I made the window template today too. So we can put our optic armor
Windows in there.
windows in there.
So I do a deal like this where this gets welded to the chassis. Okay,
Yeah.
this gets welded to the chassis, and it's like a little set screw in there. But I think I'm gonna do it a little bit differently because I think I'm gonna do it differently. I ordered some stuff up like Monday of last week. It is Sunday, and the stuff's still not here. So I went over to the Homegrown Hustler former chassis, stole the master cylinder.
Took what we could.
We were like 4 hours away from having that car like running and driving, and now it's like
Stripped.
makes me feel sad.
It'll be running and driving again in the future.
Once we start get rich.
Mm-hmm.
Once we win 100 grand in 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
With a car that doesn't look like a car yet. But yeah.
I mean, it had wheels and everything on it. Like, it looked really good. It was a good roller, and now it's absolutely bare bones again.
It's down to nothing. When I say down to
It's
nothing,
on jack stands.
it's on jack stands.
There's no axles or rear end or anything.
Nothing in the car. So I need to do the floors. I need to finish welding everything. A couple more gussets. Then we need to get the motor up in here. The iron motor up in here. Put the heads on it. Start building the turbo plumbing and stuff like that. Mount the turbos. All that crap.
Wiring. Fuel lines.
Mount the radiator.
Yeah.
Batteries mounted. On-off switch. Water pumps. All that crap.
Yep. A lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn.
How many days?
Yeah. Not enough.
It's Sunday, so 14, 13, 12. We're supposed to be leaving 11. We're supposed to leave in 11 days. I think we got it, though. You think we got it?
I hope so.
I think we were in worse shape than this.
Rexy!
I think we were in worse shape than this, like, a week before Dig or Die.
Oh, when we had to, like, change everything over for Turbo John's car?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just because we had to make everything work, like...
We should be able to come out swinging with this sucker, though.
Alright, blah. Have a good night.
Good night. People and Maddy. Enjoy your sleep.
It almost has to be in the right place in the top and drop it.
Oh, what's that thing?
Like this.
This.
It's just a rivet helper.
Ah. Look at that fancy thing.
Alright, go, wash it. Put it in.
We'll see when it's done there. Calm down.
Oh, he's
So Tom's been working on that on and off today during, like, other work. But,
in between.
in between other work. But I was gonna make it, but I don't have time to make it, and that guy's more talented than me anyways. So, he built it a whole lot more frivolous than I would. But it should all work out pretty well. I was gonna he made it all one piece. Like I was gonna rivet in like a shrinker stretcher piece into for my armrest and stuff like that. But I don't know if we could show you guys it all in the car right now, but maybe we'll get a picture for you guys because this thing's looking pretty cool. So it's not gonna be in the video today, but it's looking pretty cool. Made the pedal assembly and stuff like that last night. All the basic welding is done on the car. I gotta add some gussets and stuff like that. Master cylinders mounted, brake pedals, all that. The mock-up motor is in the car, so we can start doing the turbo plumbing, and I just mounted the coils, even though that's not the most important thing to do right now, but it's a part of the puzzle to get everything in position. So like I know the coils clear the steering, so then I could start mapping out like the electrical and stuff like that. As I'm working on other things, I can start thinking about placements of certain things and whatnot. So we ordered up a couple new shock sensors from Low Dollar Motorsports today because those ones got damaged.
Yeah.
So those we got a couple shock sensors coming. Well, mounted the battery and stuff like that yesterday. When you go pick up some lead from Eric Yost at Custom by Biggin shortly, maybe tomorrow. I'm gonna see if he has a old radiator that will fit behind the cab there, in that little section that I built.
What about the radiator out of the Dirty 30? It's in the grill shell in the trailer in the back.
Really?
Yeah.
It's gonna be too tall.
Okay.
I need something a little bit smaller and a little bit thicker, probably.
Okay.
More like a NASCAR style radiator.
Okay.
Even if it's a double pass-through, if it's a double pass-through, which means like the inlet and the outlet are on the same side, I believe, or that triple, whatever it is. The inlets and the outlets are on the same side, which would be a little bit handier because then we can put those on the passenger side of the car and go run our coolant lines and stuff like that underneath the passenger seat or something like that.
Gotcha. All right, let's get back to work.